Welcome to winter. Freezing temperatures and icy winds hit Britain. Good morning. It's cold out there. You're watching GMTV today.
It is almost 7 o'clock on Friday, November the 25th, 2005.
So the forecasters' predictions have come true. The cold snap has arrived, with the wind chill causing temperatures to drop as low as -15. We're going to have all the details of the worst affected areas in a few minutes' time for you.
And also this morning, your last chance to scoop £10,000. And the hills are alive with the sound of music. Cheggers is in Milton Keynes. Good morning to you,
do it in
Keith.
B-flat, Steve. Do it in B-flat. Kate, I'm sorry I haven't got time to talk to you, really. Your chance at home to win £10,000, but your chance if you're in Milton Keynes to be a Julie Andrews, or maybe you're a plumber, or maybe you just sound Von Trapp. Join us a little bit later on for the big Sound of Music finale. See you later. I've got work to do.
It's going to be an extravaganza this morning,
He's
isn't
going to
it?
really leave no, cliche unturned.
No song unsung. There you go. That's going to be happening a little bit later on. Also, we've got a little something for the ladies. We're going to be joined by Emmerdale's Ivan, who's currently causing a stir in the Dales. Actor Daniel Brocklebank is here in 20 minutes' time.
Maybe something for the boys as well.
Well, yes, as it turns
That could
out.
be the scandal, yes. And while we've been sleeping, our jungle celebrities have been staving off starvation. Jenny's in Australia.
It's official, girls are better than boys. Who'd have thought the only thing standing between our not-so-happy campers and starvation would be a group of girls, a footballer's wife, a politician's daughter and a wine taster, no less. Join us for all the I'm a Celebrity news a little bit later on.
She's just not suffering enough, is she, Jenny? She's just not suffering enough for her liking. But we are this morning. We're going back to the weather now. Britain is braced for blizzards, with snow already falling in the western half of the country this morning. Michelle Morrison is in the thick of it. Morning, Michelle. It looks pretty crisp and cold there. How bad is it?
Well, I've got 4 pairs of socks on and a pair of snow boots, and my feet are absolutely freezing even then. Now, overnight, it's been particularly bad. I mean, you can see just 20 miles outside Aberdeen, there's probably about 2 inches of snow, and again, it started already. Now, the picture in Belfast was much the same. It wasn't blizzard-like conditions so much, more like a winter wonderland. Very pretty, very picturesque there. And the same picture was in North Wales as well. Very lovely view there also. Now, you've got to be careful though, because driving conditions overnight have been particularly bad. Certainly, I was out and about in my car and I found it very hard to stick to the road with the icy conditions and the thick snow. So what will it look like for over the next couple of hours for most of us? What's the picture like? Well, certainly in Scotland, Northern Ireland and the North Wales, we'll continue to see heavy snowfall and blizzard conditions. And I'm told that in Scotland, the wind chill factor here is -15, and I can tell you what, I certainly believe that. East Anglia will also have heavy snowfall and cold winds, and elsewhere, well, you'll probably miss the snowfall, but don't be fooled because it will be cold. But lots of local authorities are out with gritters up and down the country anyway, just to make sure that we're safe on our way to work. But if you don't have snow at the moment and you're hoping and praying for it, well, the bad news for you is that if you don't have it now, you probably won't get it. But if these cold temperatures are anything to go by, I would say stay where you are.
Well, OK, you stay warm as you can there, Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little picture in pink, doesn't she?
Very much so. That's what we need, though. Keep us on GMTV to find out what's going on with the weather right now. We're going to get the other news. Here's Amanda.
Ben, thank you. The headlines at 7:02. Tributes are already being paid to critically ill George Best. Louis leaves the X Factor in the lurch. And everything changes. We'll take that, relight our fire. Good morning. George Best has just hours to live. He's unconscious and is breathing with the aid of a ventilator. Jonathan Swain is outside the Cromwell Hospital in West London. Jonathan, good morning. Do we have any news as yet?
I've just spoken to doctors, Amanda, and they've told us that George Best is still hanging on this morning, but he does have minutes rather than hours to live, and he's no longer receiving treatment to keep him alive. His family are at his bedside. His son Callum is with him, also his sister, and his 87-year-old father Dickie Best is also with him as well. Now, yesterday his teammates, George Best's teammates, Sir Dennis Law and Sir Bobby Charlton, arrived at the hospital to say their last goodbyes. And overnight, fans as well have also been braving the freezing temperatures here at the Cromwell Hospital. They've laid down scarves and flowers here, as you can see. One of the flowers there reads a message saying that you are my childhood sporting hero. Well, this is the focus of George Best's medical care, but without doubt the focus of his sporting career is Manchester United. And Matt Arnold is at Old Trafford for us this morning. Morning to you, Matt.
Morning, Jonathan. I'm outside Old Trafford. It's just waking up just for another day here, but of course it's not going to be like any other day here if we get the news that everyone is sadly expecting. We were here just at midnight, and just over my shoulder there's a couple of turnstiles and a couple of small blue lights. We saw a fan who'd driven all the way down from Blackpool to tie a scarf. Quite moving it was to watch him do it. He'd driven all the way down. He's supported Manchester United all his life. He was very tearful as he did it. We just quietly stood and watched, and I'm sure that where he's laid his tribute and his scarf is going to form the basis of a very large tribute to George if this awful news does come. Right underneath the statue of Sir Matt Busby, of course, the man who brought the Irish legend to Manchester.
Matt, many thanks, and to you, Jonathan, at the Cromwell Hospital. X Factor judge Louis Walsh says he'll only decide whether to return to the talent show after talks with ITV bosses later today. In an exclusive interview with GMTV, the Irish music mogul has also denied that the row with his fellow judges was just a publicity stunt to boost ratings.
I'm going to talk to Richard Holloway. He's the executive producer. He's been talking to me a lot this week. It depends on how that meeting goes. I promise this is not a scam. I wish it was, because I wouldn't have been hurt on Monday. I was really hurt on Monday. The water thing was bad enough on Saturday. I was really hurt on Monday. I'm talking to Richard Holloway tomorrow. I'm going to see what happens.
The Sun has tipped David Cameron favourite to win the Conservative Party leadership race. The newspaper says Mr Cameron looks like a Tory that voters might back in a general election. The Daily Telegraph has also thrown its weight behind him. It describes him as a natural winner who has a real prospect of defeating Labour. On to showbiz news now, and it looks like Take That could be reforming. They say they're making a very exciting announcement later, and if reports in this morning's newspapers are to be believed, the 4 remaining members of the group could pocket £1.5 million. Here's Melanie James.
A reunion last week at the GMTV studios, but has it inspired the ultimate boy band to reform? Music experts are predicting the band, minus Robbie, will tour next year, and there have been clues from Gary Barlow that that's the plan.
Yeah. Some of my favourite moments was doing the live shows, not really the recording.
Right,
so they were always good, but the live shows was really the time when we became a band, I think, on stage.
They broke the fans' hearts when they split, but can they now relight the fire?
You know, there are certain things that you think really belong in a certain era, and I kind of think, Take That, mid-90s, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So there's part of me thinks if it doesn't work out quite so well, all you'll end up remembering is the relaunch, which may not go that well.
But one ex-band member certainly doesn't need the £1 million cash incentive to go back on the road. Robbie Williams has just smashed a world record by selling 1.6 million tickets for his tour in just one day.
7:07 is the time. I'm back at past. Kate and Ben will be back in a moment. First, here's what's happening where you are this morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News from ITV Granada. First today, as you've been hearing on GMTV, the Manchester United legend George Best has survived another night in hospital, although his doctors say he has just hours to live.
From a little talk we were having in an international game again in the hotel, and he was telling me how he played football. When he went out, didn't matter who it was, he played football the way he would play football in the street.
European footballers, Charlton, Law and Best, all playing in the same team. I mean, it's unparalleled anywhere in the world, I would imagine that.
Yeah.
And 3 such special players with George the Prince.
And we will, of course, keep you updated on George Best's condition in our bulletins throughout the day and in Granada Reports at 6. Now, in other news, the leader of Liverpool Council is expected to hand in his resignation today. Mike Storey will step down after more than 7 years in office after admitting a breach of the council's code of conduct. The 55-year-old Liberal Democrat says he's quitting in the best interests of the city. The closing statements will be heard in the Anthony Walker murder trial today. 20-year-old Paul Taylor has already admitted killing the Liverpool teenager. 17-year-old Michael Barton denies murder. Anthony was set upon as he walked with his girlfriend and cousin through McColdrick Park in Huyton in July. 2 teenagers will continue to be questioned by police this morning in connection with the death of a pensioner in Liverpool. 67-year-old Ken Bostock died from multiple head injuries on Wednesday. It's thought he was run over by his own car near to his home in Sefton. A 15 and a 17-year-old have been arrested on suspicion of murder. Well, that's it for now. I'll be back at 8:05. Time now for a look at the region's weather.
Take a deep breath and shout down the weather.
It'll be a bright morning with sunshine and just a few wintry showers. There'll be little change through the afternoon, with most places managing to stay dry across the region, but again feeling bitterly cold in the wind. Top temperatures then just reaching up to 5 Celsius, that's 41 Fahrenheit.
Well, we were promised snow, icy winds, freezing temperatures, and if you haven't looked out of the window yet, I can tell you that parts of the country have got just that this morning.
Really cold. The west is worst affected this morning, and we're in several places, northern Scotland and North Wales, where no one's in any doubt that winter has finally arrived.
Yeah, there's North Wales there. Claire Nazir sent us this report on conditions where she is.
Weather forecasters predicted this cold snap, and they were right. Heavy snow hit northern Scotland yesterday, and now much of the country is waking up to an icy Arctic blast. Here in North Wales, the hailstorms began soon after lunch yesterday and persisted off and on through the afternoon into the night. They turned to snow soon after dark. Driving conditions have been very tricky, although local councils have been battling to keep the roads clear of ice. Winds here have been picking up over the last few hours, causing blizzard conditions and a wind chill of -15. This may be seen as a blip, but the long-term forecast is for a cold winter, in fact the coldest winter for 10 years. Perhaps it's time to migrate south and forget the winter months here in the UK.
That'll be lovely, wouldn't it? We're joined in the studio now by Jim Dale from the British Weather Service. Thanks for joining us this morning, Jim.
Good morning.
We've had an unusually mild autumn up till now, haven't we?
Yes, we have, exceptionally so. And this is the first cold blast, so everybody's getting excited.
Is it actually, I mean, because I came out of my house this morning and it was noticeably much colder as I walked from the house to get into a car. It was freezing, really, really icy cold.
You picked up the northerly wind. I think we've had been spoiled a little bit. We've had the winds coming from the south and the southwest for a long time, and even the autumn time, I think we go back and we think about the heat that there was around in October, and really this is the first cold blast. The winds have now switched to the north, and here we are having a taster of it.
But what about, we have had some very mild winters. I mean, we've had an unusually mild autumn, that's for sure, but over the last few years, the winter's not been that cold. We haven't seen that much.
I think over the last decade, last 12 years, we've seen perhaps one. I think it was 95, 96, where you could call it cold. Everything else has been very mild. And in fact, at the moment, 2005, Northern Hemisphere is going through its warmest year on record. So kind of a switch off that switch and put on another switch, and here we are in the middle of winter.
OK, so is this set to stay then? Because, I mean, it's been predicted that it could be the coldest winter, certainly, I think, as Claire said, since 95.
There's a lot of talk, isn't there? I can't give you a categoric answer. I wish I could. I'm a risk meteorologist, and to be able to sort of sit here and say, yes, we're going to get the coldest winter on record or the coldest winter for 10 years, very difficult. Normally, a very cold winter, 1 out of 10 chance. This year, because of various factors, we're thinking it's around about 4 out of 10, so that still leaves 6 out of 10 going for a kind of mildish winter.
But actually, but chance-wise, we're looking at certainly the next sort of week's going to stay very cold, and potentially it could swing even further.
Before I came out this morning, I looked at the models, and although there is during the course of next week, there's a slow revival, it still remains cold and wintry, probably for another 10 to 12 days yet. But I think the teeth of it is for now, today, tomorrow, and the next day. OK, now the big question, because I know there's going to be lots of people, and every year I always fancy having a bit of a dabble with the Christmas, whether we're going to have a white Christmas or not, chuck a bit of money on it. Yeah.
What's the likelihood this year?
Well, as far as the bookies are concerned, I think they've reduced their prices. They've reduced their prices because there's a lot of talk about cold winter, so they don't like that. Secondly, last year, there's a lot of places that actually got a white Christmas last year, and that means that they'll reduce the bets again, the odds again. I think it's best anybody out there waiting, because I can't give you an answer on that. What I would say is the odds are not very good at the moment. I would wait 10, 15 days before, and then I'll tell you.
OK, and maybe the heat will have risen a bit, the odds will be a bit better, and then you'll be sneaking down.
Hopefully, yeah, if the bookies pick that up, absolutely, we've got to do that. But normally every year we do that, and the bookies don't like us very much.
OK, Jim, thank you very much for joining us this morning. If there's any bad weather near you, you can always send us a picture if you've got one of those cameras on your mobile phone. Text it to 07739 672 673, 07739 672 673. Thanks so much, Jim.
It's coming up to 7:15, the main headlines you're waking up to this morning. Tributes are already being paid to George Best, who's just got hours to live. He remains in a West London hospital. The footballing legend is breathing off a ventilator. Supermarkets are being criticised this morning for promoting unhealthy food more than they do fresh produce. And today's weather, what you've just been hearing, is a bitterly cold day in store for most of us, with strong winds across much of the UK, mixed with widespread sleet and snow and showers in the northwest. Most other parts will stay largely dry and bright. So, for the last time this week, let's go over to Keith Chegwin, who's still celebrating, good on him, the 40th anniversary of The Sound of Music. Sing along, Keith. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you. Oh, I'll tell you what a fantastic week we've had, Kate. I'll tell you, we've had them, you know, great singers, bad singers. But actually, this morning, I'm going to let you into a little secret behind the scenes of the Sound of Music Roadshow, because each morning we pick our judges. Look at this. We've got Simon, we've got Sharon, and we've got Louis here. Simon, what will you be looking for from our talent?
Oh, definitely good tone and good voice.
Yes, and what about you, Sharon?
Talent and personality.
Lovely. And finally, Louis.
Dazzling charisma.
Oh, lovely. Fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our artists who are ready to audition for The Sound of Music. What's your name?
Andy.
Andy. And Andy, what are you going to sing for us?
I'm going to sing Do a Dear.
Away you go, Steve. Play Do a Dear.
Do a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun.
That's enough. Let me come to the judges. Is he in or is he out?
I'll say in.
In.
Out.
Out.
Oh, I think out.
Oh, definitely. I'm sorry. Go on, remove him from the building security. Lovely. Our next contestant here. What are you going to sing for us?
Do a Dear again.
Oh, that well-known number. Yeah. Go for it.
Do a deer, a female deer, Ray, a drop of golden sun.
It's good, but we'll let our judges think about it. But I'll tell you what, you can ponder on this. Your chance to win £10,000 this morning. Yes, on GMTV. Here come the details. We've got a whopping £10,000 to give away, courtesy of Direct Holidays. You can spend it on whatever you like. For your chance to win, here's the question you need to answer.
What family does Maria go to live with in the film The Sound of Music? A. Von Trapp, B. Von Crackle, or C. Von Pop?
You can dial 09068 100 100. That's 09068 100 100. Or you can text A, B, or C as your answer, plus your name and full address to 81149. Or you can enter via the website.
Good luck to you. All lines are open till 9 o'clock this morning. And oh my gosh, Sharon Osbourne has just thrown stuff over Louis, and Louis storming off.
I'm suing.
I'm suing. That's it. Hey, but look, before you go, is that lady in or out?
Oh, definitely in. Look at that voice.
You made it, love. Well done. Join us, if you can, at Milton Keynes at the MK Centre for The Sound of Music. It's the big one today. We'll see you later.
Brilliant.
Really, those judges.
You couldn't trust them,
put the chemistry together and they kick off, wherever they are.
There's going to be apologies all over that for the next couple of hits, I think. As Checkers said, those lines are going to close at 9 o'clock. We'll reveal the winner a little bit later on in Entertainment Today.
Yep, and still to come, Ivan the Bin Man, Emmerdale's controversial new hunk actor, Daniel Brocklebank. He's joining us after the break.
But first, in this chilly weather, we need something to pep up our immune systems. So here's Dr. Hilary Jones with just that.
You're much more prone to catching colds or flu if you're run down or stressed, so try using complementary health methods to protect your body.
Herbs like elderflower, feverfew and ginseng are the first things you should reach for at the side of a cold, and thyme and lobelia are great for flu and bronchitis as well.
There are teas, tablets and many decoctions to choose from, so experiment and find out which one is best for you.
To ease congestion and nasal stuffiness, put 5 drops of olmus or eucalyptus oil in your bathwater and inhale the steam. And remember, viruses really struggle to survive in a vitamin C and zinc-rich environment, so stock up. Fill your daily diet full of natural antioxidant foods such as kiwi and citrus fruits. Have at least 5 portions of fruit and veg a day all year round. Now, it really is tempting to stay in your warm bed when you've got a cold, but unless you've got a fever or the flu, it's great to get out for a brisk walk in the open air to clear out those sinuses.
Alternative Health, sponsored by Ocean Spray.
Hi there. Well, it's all changing Emmerdale in so many ways. Once it was about sheep and pasture. Now planes drop from the skies and all sorts of things are going on. Just when you thought it was going to get, he was going to get it together. I'm just going to cough, excuse me. I coughed at just the wrong moment, sorry. Together with barmaid Tony. Binman, Ivan, that's who we're talking about. He's got his eye on someone else. His landlady's brother, Paul. We're going to be talking to actor Daniel Brocklebank in a mo about this new development. But first, let's have a look at what's in store for us tonight.
Nicola is quite beautiful in a certain light.
Aye? Aye? She's a bonny lass in any light. It's not what I meant. I told you I had my eye on someone.
But,
please don't tell anyone about this, because I've never felt this way about a bloke before.
Right.
I think his face said it all. Daniel Brocklebank, who plays Evan, as I said before, is here. Is your character a little confused at the moment?
I don't know, he's not confused, he's bisexual.
Right, now this is a first, isn't it? I think for all soaps.
I think so. I mean, I think over the years, I think soap characters have certainly dabbled with their sexuality, but I think this is the first time we've had a confirmed bisexual in a soap, yeah.
Right, so he's happy to be involved in all areas.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this. It's breakfast time. It's breakfast time. This is going to cause a fuss, isn't it? Shall we move on with this? Yeah. Because Emmerdale is sort of the most tea time of the slots, if you like, and the earliest on in the evening.
Yeah.
So have you already had reaction from people?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not really started airing yet, so we've yet to see how...
What the viewers think, I suppose.
Yeah. Yet to see what my gran's going to say, you know.
What do you think she'll say?
Oh, I dread to think.
Is she kind of the barometer of what's been going on?
Well, I think she's sort of, her age group is certainly the demographic that we get for the show. I mean, obviously, you know, we get all ages, but I certainly think we've got an older generation following, so it'll be interesting to see how it's received, yeah.
Emmerdale's definitely trying to look at different ways of presenting itself, isn't it? And this must be great for you as an actor to get the opportunity to do different sorts of storyline.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. I mean, it's nice to be given, normally with a play or a movie or whatever, you're either doing comedy or you're doing something serious. So with something like this, you're given the opportunity to play both aspects. So it is nice.
Yeah. I think people are probably looking at you, apart from Emmerdale, and thinking, where have I seen him before? I did that when you came in as well. Shakespeare in Love, of course.
Yes.
Got to snog Gwyneth Paltrow.
I did. I was very young then, though. I was 18.
Were you?
Yeah.
She had a beard, though, then, didn't she?
And I was wearing a dress.
She had a beard and you were wearing a dress?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Which you might need to explain.
That's right.
Well, yeah, she was playing
up,
Romeo and I was playing Juliet, so...
And she was pretending to be a man, and you obviously had to be the boy that was the girl.
The boy
in the
player, Sam Goss, yeah.
That must have been great laugh at the time, going back to the pub and telling your mates.
Yeah, it was... Well, at the time, I mean, I don't think any of us knew how big that movie was going to be at the time. I mean, that was the movie that sort of got Gwyneth Paltrow very well known as well, so at the time I wasn't too sure who she was, to be honest, you know, because she hadn't won the Oscar yet, which is obviously, she won the Oscar for Shakespeare in Love, so...
Did she give you a shaving rash? Was there any issues there with the facial hair?
Gwyneth Paltrow gave me a shaving rash.
Yeah.
Headline, isn't it?
Great headline.
And you grew up in Stratford, so I guess you had Shakespeare coming at you from an early age, really.
Yeah, I mean, I was born just outside of Stratford, and I was certainly surrounded by it. My parents aren't theatrical at all, so we never really went to the theatre that much. But, I mean, I've done a couple of seasons now with the Royal Shakespeare Company, so I've been back home to work, which has been nice.
Wow. So how did you get started in acting? Because 18 is very young to be
in
a
no,
film
I was 15
like
when I started.
15?
Yeah. The Royal Shakespeare Company wrote to all the local schools, and they were putting on a production of Lord of the Flies, and I turned up at an open and got the lead role. That was
Good
my
for
first
you.
job,
So you thought, might have a future in this.
Yeah, well, at the time, I didn't think that I'd still be doing it 11 years later for a living, but I am, so it's a good sign, I suppose.
So Emmerdale, then, are you going to stick with that for a bit?
Yeah, certainly for a bit. I'd like to stay for a bit, yeah. It's a really nice show to work on. The people are really friendly. I think because a lot of people have emigrated up to Yorkshire for this job, so the camaraderie between cast members is great. It feels like a tour, almost. You're almost like a theatre tour because you're relying on each other for an existence.
Yeah.
And when your character's enjoying a bit of everything, you can't really complain.
Thank
again,
you. Thank you. We'll all take the mickey out of me this morning. It's lovely to see you. Thanks very much indeed. We look forward to seeing how it develops.
Cheers, Daniel.
Now, what we like about Claire Nazir is that you can always tell what the weather's going to be like from the way she's dressed. She doesn't even have to speak.
No.
August, simple camisole.
Easy.
Yeah. September early while it's mild, maybe a light jacket.
Yes.
This morning she's the size of a charging buffalo. She's only 5 foot and about 2 inches wide. I think we should have a competition. How many layers is Claire Nazir wearing?
How wide is Claire today?
She's huge.
Well, she's stuck in the middle of the snow there. I think she should tell us what's happening. Here is the weather.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Hello, good morning. I am toasty this morning. In fact, I've borrowed the cameraman's jacket. That's why it's a bit too big. It's a man's jacket this morning. But at least I'm very warm, lots of thermal layers. This is the way to dress. Forget fashion this morning. This is the way to dress because it's freezing cold outside. In fact, not only here in North Wales, where I have been for the last 24 hours, also across parts of Scotland, across much of the country. Let's have a look. We've got a picture, I think, from Aberdeen. Yes, our correspondent Michelle's up in Aberdeenshire this morning, and you can see it's been snowing there. The roads are now cleared of ice, but along the side of the pavements, it is quite icy there. More snow showers are expected, not only in Aberdeenshire, but right across central and northern areas of Scotland, West Scotland, as well as Northern Ireland, here in North Wales, western parts of Wales, as well as down towards the West Country. Now, for more details about our weather, and we've got lots of information on our website. Please check it out, gm.tv, including the areas most at risk from snow over the next 24 hours. So this morning, we can see where the worst of the weather is. We saw showers pile in overnight. It's clear here at the moment, but I have to say the cloud is looming, and we are expecting more snow and hail showers as we head through today, and also a strong wind. And that means if you're heading out, remember to wrap up warm, lots of layers, because with the wind chill factor, it's going to feel a lot colder than what perhaps the thermometer is saying. Inland today, it's going to be fine and dry with some sunshine, particularly across eastern areas of Wales. Much of England away from coastal districts, as well as the West Country, and also central southern areas of Scotland as well. Through the day, then, temperatures rising to the dizzy heights around 4 or 5 Celsius. But as I said, add on that wind chill, it's going to feel more like -12 in places. Later on, we'll see 1 or 2 snow showers clipping the eastern side of England down towards Norfolk. Again, there could be wintry, perhaps even of snow. And then tonight, we're expecting further showers likely, particularly across the far north of Scotland. Coastal districts again, inland, another frost. Temperatures dipping down to probably -1, -2 Celsius. For the weekend, it's showers in the north, wintry showers. Further south and east, it's going to be dry. The wind's easing through the weekend. Sunday's looking better than Saturday. Here's your summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000. Well, as well as guessing the number of layers Claire Nazir is wearing, we're snow spotting this morning. Let us know if it's already started snowing where you are. Plymouth, it started snowing in. That's very south,
Very south, yeah. The number is on the screen there, 07739 672 673. We've already had a few. This one's from Kelly in Bristol. Wow, that looks like they're quite a lot down there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And Hannah, all the way down in Devon, has sent through this one. Just like sprinkling.
They're like Christmas cards, aren't they?
Very
so
similar.
Pretty.
And also in Cardiff, apparently. Jill said in Cardiff, is it? And down in Shropshire. Unfortunately, none in Anglesey. And Linda Roebuck's kids are furious. Where's all the snow?
They thought they were going to get off school, perhaps. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Let that number again, 07739 672 673. Send us your picture if you have one of those picture phones.
Yeah.
Now let's get the news from Amanda.
OK, thank you. Good morning. George Best has just hours to live. He's unconscious in the Cromwell Hospital in West London and is breathing through a ventilator. The 59-year-old developed internal bleeding on Wednesday. Relatives, friends and former teammates have visited him over the past 24 hours. And as you've just been hearing, many parts of the country are preparing themselves for an early winter onslaught as heavy snow begins to fall. This was the scene in Northern Ireland late last night. In Scotland, roads have been closed and school children have been given the day off. Wales and southwest England are also likely to be hard hit. Two youths, aged 15 and 17, are being questioned on suspicion of murdering a pensioner who was knocked down by his own car. Ken Bostock was parking his Volkswagen in a lock-up garage in Sefton in Merseyside when two men climbed in. The retired bus driver was mowed down when he tried to stop them. X Factor judge Louis Walsh says he'll only decide whether to appear on the show after talks with ITV bosses later today. In an exclusive interview with GMTV, the Irish music mogul has also denied that the row with his fellow judges was just a publicity stunt to boost ratings. Emma-Louise Johnson went on the trail.
I finally tracked him down after 2 days in Dublin. He hasn't spoken to anyone else, but it may just be my lucky day. Maybe my charm will win him over.
I'm going to talk to Richard Holloway. He's the executive producer. He's been talking to me a lot this week. It depends on how that meeting goes. I might not. I'm still pretty hurt, I'll be honest with you. You know, I think Simon's treated me really, really badly.
So has this all been a farce?
I promise this is not a scam. I wish it was, because I wouldn't have been hurt on Monday. I was really hurt on Monday. The water thing was bad enough on Saturday. I was really hurt on Monday. I'm talking to Richard Holloway tomorrow. I'm going to see what happens.
Will Louis return to the X Factor, or will he be X Factor? Emma-Louise Johnston, GMTV News, Dublin.
They may seem like a bargain, but although special offers at the supermarket are encouraging us to buy unhealthy food, the National Consumer Council says there are twice as many on promotions on fatty and sugary food than on fruit and veg. Friends and family of the murdered policewoman Sharon Beshanevsky will attend a memorial service in Bradford today. It's been a week since the 38-year-old officer was shot dead during an armed robbery. Her colleague, WPC Theresa Milburn, was left injured. Police are trying to track down 3 men who have been identified as prime suspects. Now, bringing up a child to the age of 21 costs parents £166,000. That's the price of the average British house. A report says the biggest expenses are childcare and university. £16,000 is spent on food, £12,000 on clothes and £10,000 on toys. What a thought. It looks like Take That could be getting back together again. They say they've got a very exciting announcement to make later today. And if reports in this morning's newspapers are right, the 4 remaining members could pocket £1.5 million each just by doing so. The band split 10 years ago after selling 25 million records. And that brings the time to 7:35. I'm back at 8. Here's Kate and Ben.
Thank you very much. In fact, when they were on the show last week, we did suggest to them, are they going to get back together? And they didn't rule it out.
No,
they wouldn't record a new album.
That's right, but they said they're happy to go on tour.
Yeah, but they would be going on tour. They could well go on tour. Could be that. Could be that. You've got to hand it to them. And you've got to hand it to the girls in the jungle. They did look good last night. Carol and Gilly. They tackled the fish to make your stomach churn.
If you're eating
I'm
cereal,
celebrity.
that's not going to be a nice sight, is
No,
it?
I'd imagine it would have the same effect as some bran, though. We're talking to Gilly Gordon's daughter, Oriel, after the break. I can't believe they ate all of that stuff.
Oh, but first, your chance to sparkle in our Christmas lights competition.
That's very funny. The time Jenny's in Australia for us this morning. Enjoying yourself. Morning, Jen. Who's that?
Oh, I'm joined by Jimmy Osmond's wife, Michelle. She's come here to chat to me about how Jimmy's doing in the jungle. He's doing all right, isn't he?
He seems to be. Yes, he's doing quite well, I think.
Yeah, especially considering the rain in there.
Oh, that was terrible. In fact, the children and I were having lunch here in Australia, and it just started this torrential downpour, and we just looked at each other and went, oh, poor Daddy.
Yeah, let's get on with lunch.
Exactly, we said no.
I've got to explain where we are, Ben. We're here at the Versace Hotel, which is where Michelle and other friends and family members stay and wait for the celebs to be released from their jungle prison. And well, she's basically here waiting for Jimmy, who we don't know. The evictions start next week, so we don't know when he will be released back to civilization. But last night's show was pretty much the best one, I think, so far. It was so exciting, what with the arrival of Cannon and Ball, Rock on Tommy.
It's exciting.
Will Jimmy know who Cannon and Ball are?
He does, actually. He's been done some work in the same area or the same theatre that they have before. So he's met them and he gets on quite well with them. So I think he was really excited to see another friend.
Yeah. Well, obviously the other big plus point last night was the trial. I mean, I don't really need to say much more than that. I'm talking the trial being the one with the jungle delicacies, the one with Carol and Jilly. You have got to congratulate both them. They were so commendable. I mean, kangaroos privates, that's not tasty.
No, it's not. In fact, I just couldn't even believe that they were that brave. I mean, it was amazing to me that those women they held their own.
Now, how would Jimmy have done in that situation?
Well, actually, I think he would have done all right, because he's quite strong that way, and he's traveled the world, and he's been in lots of situations where he's been invited to dinners and such, where he's had to sort of eat the local cuisine.
Like what?
White rat. Oh! So kind of nasty bad. I mean, not that he'd ever want to eat it again, mind you, but he's definitely had his share of nasty tidbits.
Yeah, because his trial was much easier. I mean, he had the kangaroo court, which I did, but it was easier than that because there was no eating.
Exactly.
But it was quite scary. I mean, has he ever had any experience with kangaroos before?
No, I can honestly say I don't think he's ever had any experience with that, but I think, you know, I think he handled it quite well. He was brave, and he you know, at first it doesn't look very scary, but then when I read an article about truly a zookeeper was disemboweled, is that what it's called? And so when you read that, you realize that even though they're actually sweet looking, they're quite strong.
Yeah.
And so
I can imagine you were feeling for your husband, going, please look after yourself.
I know.
Exactly. Well, good luck to Jimmy.
Thank
we'll probably
so much.
speak to you next week and
Great.
find out how he's doing.
Great.
I think he's going to do quite well. How about you, Ben?
Yeah, he looks like he's in control at the moment. And hey, at least he would have eaten that rat's tail, which the girls passed on last night, especially if he had his right rat. Thank you very much, Jen. We're joined in the studio by somebody who suffered with her mother last night. Julie Goulden's daughter, Aureola, is here. Well, how exactly did you feel watching your mum stuffing that stuff in her mouth last night?
Oh, dear. Well, you know when you have that little burp and it comes up and you kind of do go, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sick. And then you think, I'm not even eating. I'm just watching it.
Were you surprised that she actually went for it and ate all those things? Like, she seems like an ambitious sort of delicatessen type eater.
Completely. She chose her meal very well, I thought. No, I think that absolutely hats off. Can you imagine having anything worse to do? Then that has to be the worst trial, to actually feel the sensation and going down and...
And there are certain trials, of course, that the campers know that they're going to get. That's the one that comes up year on year, and I think people will have to do it again, won't they? No doubt. Yep. Had you talked about that? You said, Mum, you're going to have to eat grubs and stuff.
You know what, I think that's the first thing that came into my mind when she said she was going to do it, is kind of, what if you have to eat stuff? And she is mostly a vegetarian, really, which I don't think Carol is, and so that makes it even worse.
How long has she been a veggie?
Most of her life.
And she's just ruined it.
And she's just out of the window, but, you know, out of a necessity
Most people go a bit of bacon.
Yeah.
But, if they're a vegetarian, they don't go for the insects and
kangaroo
the
bits and stuff. Yes, I'm vegetarian, but I do eat penises.
As a rule, not something. What about the sort of the whole idea of her going into camp? I mean, were you and the rest of your family and stuff, were you up for it? Were you a bit like, no, Mum, don't?
I think I foresaw it as being a huge mistake, but then I thought, well, hang on, you know, how many opportunities do you get to live in a jungle and have this incredible experience to be with people? I mean, at that later age, that you don't have the chance to spend so much time with people, getting to know people in a relaxed way, out of society and out of your family norm and out of the kind of office life that she's used to.
And
what an experience.
What about the conditions in there, though? Is she good at camping? Have you ever? I mean, you don't strike me as a family of campers.
Well, I'm, very surprised you say that, because I was travelling. I was in India for all of last year, and she joined me for 3 weeks. And we had tiny rucksacks, and eating a similar diet of rice and beans, and absolutely nothing. Very outsidey people. She's permanently got straw in her hair for some reason. Not that she rolls around in hay, but
she won't love you for that.
But she's very so she didn't come from that sort of. She's going to be lapping up. She won't mind the dunny in the jungle.
Very outsidey type, completely. I think more so than a lot of the soap stars or ex-soap stars. That she really will actually enjoy it, and sort of washing in water that's natural and all the rest of it is a big part of the fun of it for
Are
her.
you quite relishing people getting to know your mum a bit more like you know her? Because we see her as a food and wine critic, and she's very well spoken, and people immediately create an image of what she's actually like. Is that quite exciting?
Well, she's incredibly good fun, and she's certainly not bossy, which is kind of how she's being perceived to be on the TV, on this programme. But she's actually everyone's kind of best friend. Very, very lively, extremely up for it, and an ultimate team player, as you can see from last night. But no, I think that she's going to do pretty well, because people are going to realise more and more how kind of friendly and wonderful. She's just an incredible person.
A great character to have in the jungle, no doubt.
Yep.
And you're heading out there. Do enjoy your flight and enjoy the hotel, the luxury of it.
I fly in a couple of hours. I can't wait.
Excellent. Well, have a good time when you get out there. And we're going to obviously stay glued to your mum and all the antics going on in the jungle.
Please do. Don't vote for any more trials, but keep her in.
Thanks, Oriel.
Cheers.
OK, the main headlines you're waking up to this morning. Tributes are already being paid to George Best, who has just hours to live. He remains in a West London hospital. Supermarkets are being criticised for promoting unhealthy food more than they do fresh produce. And today's weather, a bitterly cold day in store with strong winds across most of the UK, mixed with widespread sleet and snow. Snow showers, I should say, in the north and west. And most of the parts will stay largely dry and bright but dry. Well, there you go. We're going to take a break now, but Richard is here. What have you got for us today? Look at you in your little soft, dusky pink. Is that, did someone give you that for your birthday?
I knew you'd mention it. Do you know, I got
lovely.
it from a ladies' store. Well, it's traditionally a ladies' brand that's now diversifying into men's clothing, or so they told me. So if I find the A-line skirt in time for the weekend, I'll let you know. It's a reality TV fest. I was raging last night getting back after my birthday meal, having Sky Plus the wrong show. Celebrity was on an hour earlier. Please stop messing around with it.
It's very annoying, actually.
It is annoying.
Yes.
I came back and thought I'd catch the bug trial, and I missed it all. But there's a double whammy of Celebrity this weekend at 9 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday, and of course it's a reality TV fest with X Factor, Chico Time, Will It Be? And of course, Strictly Come Dancing as well, which is, I have to say, my personal favourite, 6:30 BBC One's Theo. It's all happening on Pick of the Day. With me, television's Richard Arnold, in just a short moment. Thank you for playing.
Lotus First Pockets with technology, sponsors of TV Pick of the Day.
There you go, Richard Arnold's here to talk us through this weekend's telly. We've seen him and he's still in his dusky pink.
Still in my dusky pink as well. Chatting to the layman in the street, or all the men I seem to meet when I'm shopping for ladies' fashions. The banter, of course, is all about X Factor and whether Louis is going to actually make it on Saturday night. Now, I'm reliably informed that he will make it for the rehearsal show on ITV2 tonight. Am I right, Benjamin?
That will be 8 o'clock. Well, that's what he said in the interview to Emma Louise.
Right.
He wants to see Shane rehearse.
To our very own Emma Louise. So hopefully he will pitch up for the main event on Saturday. People still talking quite a bit. You'll know this, madam, in the back of your black cabs and mini cabs that you take late at night, despite the fact you're
She
with child.
drives.
People are still bantering about the fact that Maria went out, and I think there was a real credibility issue there with the X Factor, although clearly the bums on seats speak for themselves. It's going to be phenomenal, right up against Strictly Come Dancing as well, and we've got I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out, the double whammy. Moving swiftly onto the street, so far in the Rovers, we've got Sunita, Shelley and Violet, who've all been wronged by their men. I have a feeling they may be joined by a fourth member of the Weatherfield Wench Society. Take a look.
OK.
She said you'd use emotional blackmail, yeah? Molly said that you might also use your sexual lady charms. Molly also said
you're obsessed with her! Molly this and Molly that. She's doing my head in.
Said that this would happen. Anger.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well, did she tell you I'd do this and all, eh?
Yeah, she did. You're a bully, Fizz, and I can't take any more.
Oh, whatever!
Ah!
Okay.
You don't!
Oh, at last.
Joy, joy. Have you been catching Must-See TV?
No.
I haven't been able to plug it gratuitously, and I'm going to plug it gratuitously today. The one about Kenny Everett was absolutely fantastic. Tonight it's The Sweeney, and Bradley Walsh takes us back to yesteryear. Take a look at this.
The Sweeney portrayed the coppers as every bit as hard as the shotgun-toting villains that they tackled. It told it exactly like it was, gritty and real. And whenever you heard that fantastic music by the brilliant Harry South, you knew you was in for an hour of some serious bang-to-rights, no-nonsense telly.
Who are you? We're the Sweeney, son, and we haven't had any dinner.
He always used to say to the women, pop the kettle on, love.
Yeah.
Remember, when they went round to talk to the victim?
I recently bought my mate Ginge, Alex, the box set of The Sweeney, and his wife-to-be texted me going, I can't believe you've given us 18 hours of The Sweeney to watch. I'm in TV hell. And he's like, that is brilliant. He loves it.
Misogynistic
So
TV
good.
box set.
Really?
Fantastic. They'd ask you more of that in that outfit, I tell you.
Do you realise you speak to a woman's shot and I've gone to fancy dress? I feel like I'm in a...
You look
pointed
lovely.
out.
An extra from a lower low or something like that. Vicky Michelle.
Yeah, Vicky Michelle. You stupid woman.
The dust up.
A cleanogram.
Bring in the flashing knob. Anyway, the Queen. Yes, we're talking about the Queen's sister,
How did you
Princess
get
Margaret.
that?
It's a flashing knob. Do you not remember? It was the
Before the Madonna with a
yes.
big booty.
Yeah, that's all of that. Princess Margaret story. Now, this is when I say Princess Margaret story, it really just evokes the era and the tragic tale of a princess who had it all and lost it all and didn't quite get it back on her own terms. It's a cracking romp. I really enjoy this. I know much has been said in the red tops and the broader sheets that you know it's shocking showing the Queen's sister in such a light. But I have to say, when you watch it and it opens up with a disclaimer that basically says, you know what, some of this is based on fact, and frankly, the rest of it we've made up. Enjoy the costumes. It's a great fun. Take a look. I think Carla will come back for the Christmas party.
She's actually got a great job.
Indeed.
Richard, thank you very much.
Have a good weekend.
Now, of course, it's snowing all over the country.
Yes.
We're getting lots of texts, keep them coming in. Claire's in the middle of it, though.
She is, bless her.
GMTV weather, sponsored by Tops Tiles, brightening homes, whatever the weather.
Well, it is looking very pretty here across the snowfields of North Wales, but it does mask a lot of problems. We've seen problems this morning, not only in the roads here in North Wales, it's very icy indeed, but also down in Devon, there's been reports of a lot of accidents. But here in North Wales, we've been seeing snow fall through the night. It's snowing now, the wind's blowing as well. It's very cold indeed, not only here in North Wales, but also across in Aberdeenshire. We've got a camera there, a crew there, who are freezing cold. And as you can see, it's snowing there as well. And the snow showers will continue through the morning into the afternoon, as well as that biting wind. Now, the wind's coming in from the Arctic, and that's the reason why we have so many snow showers. The cold air's blowing over a relatively warm sea, creating the cloud and creating the showers. And on the radar, we can see where they were distributed overnight across Northern Ireland, northern and western areas of Scotland, as well as western parts of Wales, and down towards the West Country, and they're likely to continue through the day. Elsewhere, you're waking up to a very chilly start. Temperatures dip below freezing overnight, hence there is a frost across many parts, and through the day inland it's going to be mostly dry with some good spells of sunshine actually, although through the day we could see some showers clip the eastern side of England down towards Norfolk, and again they're likely to turn wintry for a time. Through the afternoon, the showers, particularly over the higher ground, continuing as snow, near coastal districts turning to sleet and then rain later on, perhaps even hail as well. As we head through this evening and overnight, those temperatures falling again. Temperatures by day probably only up to around 4 or 5 Celsius, 7 at the very best. Add on the wind chill factor, it's going to feel more like a -12, perhaps even up to -15. Now, what's happening overnight? Another frost tonight, and that leads us nicely into tomorrow, where we're expecting wintry showers, particularly across the northern half of the country. Further south and east, I think it's going to remain mostly fine and dry with some sunshine, and a similar scenario as we head through to Sunday. Loads of details on our website. Please check it out, gm.tv. Keep warm and keep safe. Here's your summary. For your in-depth local outlook, visit our website, or for a 10-day forecast, call GMTV's Weatherline on 0905 514 0000.